Welcome, everyone. I'm Patrice, and this is Navigating the Journey, Episode 13, Forgiveness Initiates Peace. Forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. In my opinion, this quote by Jonathan Lockwood Hugh sums up the essence of forgiveness perfectly. Forgiveness isn't about freeing others, it's about freeing yourself. You can't dictate if or when someone apologizes or something changes, but you can dictate when you're ready to forgive, change, and move forward. Giving forgiveness is about controlling the controllables. Today, as we discuss the stages of forgiveness, be mindful that sometimes we need to forgive ourselves just as much as we need to give forgiveness to others. Let's navigate. Take a moment and think about some things you've been holding on to that require forgiveness. Now imagine each of those things is a 10-pound rock, and you have to carry those rocks until you forgive. Even if you only have one rock, over time, that burden will eventually become heavy and hard to carry. Carrying the burden or trauma of something that hasn't been forgiven over time becomes a weight that impacts your ability to move forward in certain aspects of your life. I speak from experience when I say, you don't outgrow the situation or circumstance that warrants forgiveness. It doesn't just go away because you've moved on with your life. That's the catch. Can you really move on, put it behind you, and outgrow it without giving forgiveness? Google has many different opinions on the stages of forgiveness. I found the most success using the ones we'll discuss today. The first stage is identifying what things are disrupting your peace and understanding why. Forgiveness isn't always applicable to the things that are disruptive to your peace. That's why it's important to identify and understand the why. Doing this ensures you not only identify who or what, but that you also understand the action or actions as well. I encourage you to go as far back in life as needed. As crazy as it sounds, a lot of times it's instances from our childhood that subconsciously hinder us. I know individuals that have struggled with relationships, friendships, and even their careers because of unforgiven childhood experiences. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget, but it does mean you're saying that you'll no longer let that thing impact your life negatively. Getting to this place means you have to be vulnerable and honest with yourself. You can only forgive what you're willing to acknowledge. There should be no categorization in this stage. The instances of your life that need forgiveness are of equal value and importance. As you go through this stage, perhaps you realize you're just not ready to forgive. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. Try shifting from identifying why it's blocking your peace to what's preventing your forgiveness. I believe it's extremely difficult to fully embrace your journey without starting at this phase of forgiveness. Once you've determined the whys and that you're ready to move forward in the process of forgiveness, the next stage is revisiting the emotions. There's a high probability that as you start to really decipher those instances that need forgiveness, it's going to rehash emotions that you thought you buried. It's okay to feel anger, sadness, confusion, and much more as you begin to allow these emotions to resurface. It's important as you revisit the emotions, you get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Some will be easier to process and acknowledge than others, but bringing these emotions to the surface is an absolute must. This stage of forgiveness can be delicate to navigate because both epiphanies and excuses can start to surface. You might begin to make excuses and try to convince yourself that perhaps you're overreacting. If it's impactful enough for you to still be holding on to, then you're definitely not overreacting. On the other hand, you may connect the dots between the weight you carry and the trauma you experienced. In either scenario, giving yourself grace is extremely important. Give yourself grace to experience the emotions and to revisit lingering questions. The more grace you give yourself, the better prepared you'll be for the next stage of forgiveness. In this next stage, you'll acknowledge you're ready to forgive, decide what forgiveness looks like for you, and prepare to give it. What forgiveness looks like can be different for everyone. It could be writing a letter, then burning it. It could be a face-to-face meeting, a phone call, or even a text. It could also be as simple as speaking it out loud and acknowledging it happened and the impact it's had on you and your life. By doing these things, you are acknowledging forgiveness is needed and you're ready to give it. Give the same commitment and preparation to this stage that you would give to a job interview for your dream job. When you're ready to forgive, you're forgiving 100% of whatever you've identified. Not 75 or 99, but 100%. Deciding how to give forgiveness is just as important as understanding why it's needed. There's no perfect way to offer forgiveness. It's about doing whatever will release the weight you've been carrying and allow yourself to embrace the peace you deserve. Once you've decided the process that works best, it's time to move into the last stage, which is actual forgiveness. It's now time to execute what you've acknowledged and prepared for, let that weight go, and forgive. I read this really good article that discussed how the stages of forgiveness are interchangeable. You may go back and forth in stages as you work through the process. The key word being process. Forgiveness takes time. It has to be done when you're genuinely ready. It's not uncommon to get to this stage and find yourself revisiting one of the other stages and questioning if you're in fact ready to actually be here. A lot of second guessing occurs when you're working through forgiveness. A great thing to remember along the way is that you're doing this for yourself and no one else. The process of forgiveness should be freeing and bring you peace. That's your confirmation that you've truly forgiven and let it go. Forgiveness isn't something you just wake up and offer. It requires a conscious and deliberate effort. The effort is compiled of identifying what you've been holding on to, reliving the emotions, acknowledging your readiness to forgive, preparing the message, and offering forgiveness. For many of us, there's at least one 10-pound rock we need to let go of. Decide today that you will begin the process of forgiving the people and situations that have unintentionally or intentionally hurt you and held you back. Decide today that you're no longer going to be weighed down and impacted by the heaviness of things that are blocking you from your peace. Decide today to give forgiveness. Be sure to follow Navigating the Journey on Instagram and Facebook, share the podcast with at least one person, and leave a review wherever you listen. And before we depart, remember, as you navigate, it's okay to stumble over the blocks and step on the stones. Those are temporary detours, and your main road is just ahead.